last 3 days have really been very intriguing and insightful. It has been really very beneficial for me, and my views, which used to be many times unidimensional, now will be multidimensional. This has really opened up how you look at a problem, how you look at a situation, how you look at a progression that is happening from multiple views. We really need to be mindful of what we are speaking, what words we are choosing, and how we are talking. And somewhere I think the larger agenda or larger purpose this workshop will deliver is that there are unsaid walls between all the departments. I think this will help those walls to collapse and will bring in more collaboration, and we can co-create a better environment.
The Belonging Workshop over the last 3 days has been a complete eye-opener. Not only has it reiterated the fact that one should be sensitive to one's peers and colleagues, it has also taught us that we as leaders should set examples in our everyday work life, in everything we say or in everything that we do. So these 3 days in all put together will make me, us and Bacardi in general a better place to work at, definitely.
Whatever I have learned in the last 3 days have completely turned around my thought of belief, which I had been doing for the last 24 years. I think it has been a fantabulous experience, and I would definitely like to share this with my larger team.
Last 2 days have been great for me, I think. This workshop on belonging, for me, has worked on 2 levels. One, it's a little bit of a revision of what we did at the EMEA level last year, and coming into this in this week with the ILT and the other members has been equally rewarding. What I loved about it was the vulnerability that everybody showed up at this meeting, and the candid conversations and the engagement that we had, which I think will lead us to a much better place, where we would have built a high level of trust between all of us, and in turn what I'm hoping we will achieve is a greater level of engagement and obviously finally far better performance.
So Belonging is more than just our diversity program, although at its heart it is about diversity. We still retain our original objectives of wanting our primos to reflect the consumers that we serve, and also all the countries that we operate within EMEA. But it's more than just diversity of our primos. It's about belonging. It's about driving belonging, feeling for belonging within our primos of EMEA and Bacardi. We want to create the right environment where our primos can authentically be themselves. And our managers have been working with us over the last 3 days in this workshop, looking at how we create psychological safety, how we encourage diversity of thought, whether that's through identifying and counteracting our biases, whether that's about encouraging conflict and creating the right environment. This has been the first workshop of its type in Bacardi below the regional level, and we're driving it into the organisation because these managers manage 100% of our primos in India, and they are accountable for taking this further in their team meetings and also actioning the Primo series. We intend that every Primo in EMEA will attend a Belonging series over the next 10 years. That's 100% of our Primos, and I really look forward to the results.
We intend to embed belonging in our ways of working. This workshop for India leadership team was a big step towards that. We were so glad to see that our leaders were thoroughly engaged during the workshop, and they all were working towards their individual action plans, which will help them to become better inclusive leaders. They will then guide our teams. We are so looking forward to this exciting journey.
The Belonging in Action leadership team program for the extended leadership team in India. It's the first time we've run this program, and it's been an incredibly inspiring 3 days. We've had openness to challenge, we've had people showing vulnerability as we've helped them on their journey to becoming inclusive leaders and creating a greater sense of belonging around them. We've looked at topics like how do you create psychological safety, how do you encourage much greater diversity of thinking, How do you respond to failure? And how do you manage bias or microaggressions when you see them in the business? Everybody's really taken part in the practical sessions with enthusiasm, challenging each other, but also supporting each other. We've seen their skills develop over the 3 days to a much more inclusive, whilst challenging. We've seen the skills build over the 3 days. We've seen learning put into practice in the practical sessions. A much greater level of challenge, but in a respectful and safe way. We've seen people practicing new skills and taking on board the learning from the classroom sessions. It's been an incredibly rewarding and inspiring 3 days.